Hey everyone, welcome. Hey Siren, congratulations on passing your test. Both of them, by the way. Hey Wendy, hey Appalachian Skies, hey Catch Me. So, last night I was kind of getting annoyed with some of these people, especially people like Sally Ann and, you know, they think they know everything. They think they know all about HIV. They think they know all about AIDS and who has it and who doesn't. It's awfully homophobic of them to sit there and call and accuse someone just because they're gay of having that disease. Come on here, people. It's as old as ancient Egypt, ancient Greece. It's just like calling someone the F word. Why don't you just come out with it already? Yeah, they're too damn lazy to research what they're saying or they're hearing. Hey, Missy K. Hey, Rachel. They're too damn lazy. I don't. I think all they can do is count from one to potato, and they get tired. Come on here. Hey, Tracy. It's like, do we have to go through this again? You can't get HIV from hugging someone. Damn, it's not the same anymore. You stupid idiots. Did they ever hear of condoms as an HIV preventative measure? They like to go by the homophobic myth. Oh, HIV is a gay man's disease. So let's just say that these gay men have AIDS. They'll get them. Absolutely, Appalachian. More and more misinformation. And the truth is, it isn't a gay man's disease. Anyone can get it. Straight, gay, you name it, you can get it. Hey, Wendy. It's just when the outbreak came out in the 1980s, 1981, in fact, gay men and prostitutes were the groups that it was highly prevalent in. And hey, Witchy Nicole, it was just it was just debunked by scientific research. Remember the green monkey theory? That was debunked. That isn't the source. So the facts are that the primate population doesn't have it. Interesting, isn't it? An interesting fact that I've learned. Perhaps they should do their research. So, yeah, it's not right. It's not. You're absolutely right. It isn't. Yep. And it's not a bad person's disease. So they're trying to stick it on Robbie like he's this bad person who has AIDS. Come on here. So the truth is, primates have a similar infection. They call it SIV. And they don't die from it. They don't think they even have it. They're carriers. They don't know much about it. They're still researching the primate population in Africa. But then they had the hunting theory, which doesn't make much sense to me because isn't it when you cook meat, you kill all the pathogens, supposedly? So I don't buy that theory. No. Which they're accusing without knowing the facts. They're accusing Robbie of having it, which is disgusting in itself. They say, well, his soon-to-be ex-husband has it, so they assume Robbie must have it. But they never heard of the PrEP medication that they have now for prevention. They never even heard. They forgot about condoms. In addition to that, medicine has come a long, long way. But there's too stupid to even look into that. Shame on you, Sally Ann. Shame on you, Tiffany. Shame on you, you little. Oh. You know, that's all you know how to do, right? Kick someone, assume they're high, assume they're drunk. Just keep hitting them. Just hoping that he'll pick up the bottle. And then you go over and then you say, oh, look, see, I was right. So did anyone know that the first infection of this disease was in the 50s? 1959? So in 1959, there were some unsolved deaths in the Congo. All right. So they were taking blood and tissue samples because they never seen anything like this. All right. And they saved them. All right. There was no test for it. And the first incident, the first death was in 1959. Next one in 1960. Next confirmed case was in 1966. 1969. A bunch of Ugandan children got it in 1973. There was a confirmed case in 1976. You know, it took years for this virus to infect enough people to where people paid attention and said, wait a minute, something's wrong here. And this was in 1981. And then I think it was 83 or 84 where they isolated the it under a microscope and they came up with a test. And then they came up with a treatment and then they worked on it from there. But then they tested these samples of mysterious deaths and then they all tested positive. All right. So these know-it-all bitches over there, all right, they sit there and they think they know it all. They don't even do one Google search. They don't listen to any. They don't look up any videos. They don't before they open up their big traps. And it's sad. You know, they spread all this misinformation. They're ignorant as hell. And they don't even put out one legitimate fact. And what business is it of theirs what Robbie does in his private life? Does it affect them any? No. Hey, Grunge Truck. Oh, it was Grunge Truck? Oh, okay. Might have to watch that. I'm getting there, Wendy. You're reading my mind now. So in the 1950s, I actually looked that up too, Wendy. And because there was a whole interview I watched a few years ago, all right? This was probably back in 2019, 2020, with a top expert in viruses, including that virus that you mentioned, Wendy. And she testified or said that viruses, the good majority of them, occur in nature. What does that mean? So a lot of animals in nature carry viruses. All right. They're in the skin, they're in the blood, they're in the hair. They seem to be a self-defense mechanism in nature or whatever. That was her theory. It's that theory is unproven, by the way. However, she said that human to animal transmission is extremely difficult. All right, without human intervention. All right. So since the 1950s, they set up these labs. All right, to study virology, whatever you want to call it. So since like the 40s and 50s, they studied viruses. Okay. So they were set up around the world. They wanted to learn about these illnesses, such as the flu. So it probably started out as the flu virus they were studying, and it evolved from there. Then they started studying the wild animals like primates. You all saw the movies, right? Where they're experimented on in cages, and they take blood samples and they look everything up under a microscope. They run blood tests. They run DNA tests. Well, that's what they do in these labs to learn more about. And they run, and today they run under strict protocols. All right. However, you can have all the strict protocols in the world. All right. You could be dressed up in a hazmat suit, playing around with these things, playing around with molecular structure. But you screw up. I think it only takes one time to screw up. Make a mistake, don't clean up your station, do something. And it's boom. You got an outbreak. That could have happened with the West Nile infection. It could have happened with mad cow disease. You know, some of these. This is what this by our this expert in viruses. She's one of the top of her field. She used to work with Fauci until she called him out for his bullshit, and they don't get along anymore. You get what I'm saying? So I'm now a critic of Fauci and his little minions over there. So I decided to give her a listen. So since the 50s, and then you see 1959 was the first death, and they didn't know what they were dealing with. So just imagine, all right, just going to make believe for a minute. There's an accident in a lab. They're taking blood samples. They change the molecular structure. That virus that primates carry was changed. It mutated. Okay, they drop some vials. They clean it up. They cut themselves. Or a few of the lab technicians cut themselves. Right? You got a few lab techs infected. I'm not saying I'm not going with the conspiracy theory that they unleashed it intentionally. It was probably due to human error and negligence. All right. People aren't perfect. But we all know how this virus spreads. Okay. Unsterile needles. Okay. At the doctor's office. Then you have unprotected sex. Exchange of bodily fluids. We all know how it's spread, traditionally spread. All right. But these ladies that think they know it all right, they say, oh, Michael has it, so Robbie must have it. Sorry, that's not how it works. There's something called a condom, and there's this new HIV medication that's been out for several years now. That if you're undetectable, you can't even spread the thing anymore. Damn, you ignorant girls. And then we have a girl named Tiffany that walks around this community with her legs wide open and her mouth wide open, hunting down internet. You know what? With no shame. And then she puts everyone else down for it. But then she goes over and puts down Robbie because he likes to have some fun every so often. What a hypocrite. I don't really care what Tiffany does on her free time. It's 2025 already. But don't sit there and put other people down for the same things you do. It's just disgusting. Oh, I love Princess Diana, by the way. I love Princess Diana. Yeah, I remember that, Wendy. You know? Yeah, you can't get it by hugging someone. Can't get it by kissing someone. You can't get it by holding hands. Yeah, Wendy, there was no medicine for it at first, you know? I lost a few family members from it. But, you know, it's like this ignorance is just. Oh. But they never. But they say, uh. They don't even look at the They don't even look at the They don't even do the current research on what's available and what medical breakthroughs have come out. They just go back to the 80s and 90s as Wendy's just when he's pointing out in chat, just to throw rocks and look stupid. Yep. Absolutely witchy. It's pretty disgusting. Yeah, people were scared of it. It was like, and then the myth was it's a gay man's disease. No, it isn't. You know how many straight people get it? I think that's, if you want my honest opinion on it, I think that's why this virus is still spread. Some people say, "Oh, I'm straight. I'm not at risk." Really? You can still get it if you're having straight sex. You may be it may be a lesser risk activity, but you can still get it. They just view anal sex as a higher risk activity for getting it. So you have people like Hooker, and you have Amanda, Sally Ann, Tiffany. Go get yourselves an education. All right. Yeah, they don't realize that with you. It just amazes me. It's it just amazes me how stupid people can be. Well, Wendy, I'm gonna disagree with you on that, sort of, because they look it up and say, "Oh, the gay men got it." That's how it started out. But then you have the drug users, the heroin users that share their needles, the junkies. And then you had people getting blood transfusions. They were getting it, weren't they? And then afterwards, they were having sex. True. But the media actually did a good job of saying, wait a minute, straight people can get it too. But it was already stuck in people's minds from the beginning. Wait a minute. This is it perpetrated a myth. And by the time the media, did these specials on the virus or whatever, he's in. Yeah, but I don't think so, Wendy. I don't think so. I just think that this virus was an accident due to human error. And what about the people that get essayed and get it? I remember a news special think it was 2020 actually, where there was this guy with HIV that went around essaying people and giving it around. And there was a guy that raped essaying women. You know, they don't really talk about that much. They don't talk about that much. So if you want to throw rocks, for the people over at the swamp, at least get your facts straight. At least do your research. Because all I had to do was do a few Google searches yesterday after I heard the large amounts of ignorance. And all I had to do was read down, scroll down. I looked up the virus labs. I scrolled down the history of the disease. You know, the theories on it. Hey, we even got a nurse in our chat that can say something, you know? So I hear the cuck is being a little stupid. I'm just going to spend a minute or two on him. He's not really worth much of my time when I go live, unless I'm restreaming him. All right. He said that he has new channel managers. All right. And I'm like, really? He thinks that his new channel managers can put in for strikes when he's restreamed. Come on here. They can't do that. If you want to test it out, just take Sarah's advice. Try it out for yourself. The only one that could do it is the channel owner. He's lying to you right to your face yet again. So do you think we buy that, cuck? You're just trying to scare us. And it's not going to work, all right? When we restream you, it's going to be on our time when we want to. You're not going to sit there and bully us or say, oh, we have people, and we'll just pull up the form and strike you. Well, I'm just going to say this. Cuck, if you actually manage to get one through, which I highly doubt you will, but if you actually did, all I got to do is announce a restream on my community wall and stream you on Rumble. And I'll get probably 35, 40 people in my chat over at Rumble. I'll get 35, 40 people in my box. So there's no use in you even doing that. So you making posts like that just to trying to scare us isn't gonna it isn't gonna be effective. No one likes you. So just give it up, Cock. All right. Stop with the lies. Stop with the You can see right through you. All right. Oh, please, what you Nicole? He been saying that for how long now? I'm still waiting, Cock. I'm still waiting for my rumble strike. Come on. Yeah, you can even if you do get the virus, Wendy, you could live a longer life with the medication they got 10, 15, 20 years. So, all right. So we got an update on a case that's been brewing for a while now. Does everyone remember when Street Rat got slapped with that? What's it called? The Rico suit? So, if anyone doesn't remember what happened months ago, Street Rat and Barbecue Lady, all right, got served a lawsuit for violating Pennsylvania's RICO statute. All right. So, the claim in the filing, all right, was pretty simple. She was threatening people, intimidating people for profit. So a bunch of people, including Dog the Bounty Hunter, decided to sue her. All right. Including Brittany J. was one of the plaintiffs on the lawsuit, so to speak. And we just got an update. And I don't know what's going down in Pennsylvania, but damn, these judges don't get it. So, Street Rat got a lawyer, from what we heard last time, and she was filing, her defense was that RICO suit was a slap action. SLAPP. So there are slap laws on the books. So when you have a legitimate opinion on something, or you speak out on social media, someone just can't sue you. All right, that's how the slap laws are supposed to work. All right. Now, her defense was this whole thing was a slap action. All right. Now, the judge bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. So, I got the last page. Hey, Kimberly. So, I'm going to read the last. I'm going to put this on the screen for everyone. All right. So I could show the receipt of where I'm getting this from. All right. Now the person who posted this is I'll just say he's not that credible. I wouldn't accept anything this person says at face value. But here we got the last page of a court ruling, so I'll accept this as proof. All right. So let me just. So here we go. Hold on, let me. All right. Absolutely, Witchy Nicole. I don't know what this judge is thinking. You know, it's. And then she was attacking other people on here for cash. You know, it's. You know, look at her track record on this platform. You know that you got to take the whole. You have to look at the whole picture here. Okay. You got to take a look at the entire situation. All right. Did the plaintiffs show that? So I'm gonna read this to everyone. All right. It's on my screen. All right. Pennsylvania's anti-SLAPP statute provides that a party may move to recover attorney fees, court costs, and expenses of litigation under Section 8340, period 18C, 42 Pennsylvania statute. All right. Defendants Trude and Sang requested such a reward in their anti-SLAPP motions. Okay. Pennsylvania's anti-SLAPP statute is clear that if, as here, a court finds that a party is immune under Section 8340/15, so they're saying practically that's the RICO statute for Pennsylvania. Then the court shall award the immune party attorney's fees, court costs, and expenses of litigation jointly and severally against each adverse party that asserted the cause of action. In light of the court's findings herein, including but not limited to the defendants are immune from civil liabilities for the claims attempted to be pled in the complaint, the court must grant the defendant's request for such an award. While Pennsylvania's anti-SLAPP statute does not preclude punitive damages, this court declines to award such damages at this time. So, in light of the foregoing findings and analysis, it is hereby ordered and decreed as follows. Defendant's motion pursuant to the law to dismiss the causes of action asserted against them based on the defendant's protected public expression immunity are granted. The complaint is dismissed in its entirety with prejudice. Plaintiffs are responsible jointly and severally and shall pay defendants attorney's fees, court costs, and expenses of litigation and costs. So, yeah, which you know. So let's break this down. All right. So let's go to the bottom part. So for anyone that don't understand what's going on here. So the RICO complaint is dismissed with prejudice, which means that they cannot refile. Okay? Number 3. So the people who sued Street Rat have to pay for Street Rat's attorney's fees and court costs and expenses. Ouch. And the court is ruling that lawsuit violated her First Amendment rights. Damn. I thought the First Amendment in this country had limits on what you could do and say, but apparently this Pennsylvania doesn't give a shit. Apparently, there's something wrong in Pennsylvania, all right? So, let me read this little article I have on my other screen, all right? Protected speech, political protests, expressing religious beliefs, artistic expression, and even hateful speech that does not incite violence or fall into other unprotected categories. So, let's go to unprotected speech. Incitement to violence. Okay. Defamation, which means false statements that damage someone's reputation. And making threats. So, Street Rat has defamed people before, hasn't she? She's made threats to people. She's incited her audience. Hasn't she? So I don't understand why a Pennsylvania judge would rule in her favor when some of her actions are under the unprotected speech category. Damn, you know? Damn it. Street Rat. What is Street Rat? What is Street Rat getting out of this? Is she getting the special skank treatment from the courts now? Oh, this is utterly aggravating. First, she lied to a judge saying she's scared for her life, which was total bullshit. I was going to say that. The person she got an order against was no threat to her, in my opinion, anyway. He didn't even threaten her in any way, shape, or form. Okay, but she managed to skate through that, didn't she? Now she skates through her RICO lawsuit. This is pretty disgusting. All right. Agree with me or not? All right. This should concern people. I hope this gets appealed, and I hope she loses. Maybe it was the wrong action to file, a RICO action. I don't know. I'm no lawyer, but this is very disappointing. All right. I was kind of hoping that she would get what was coming to her, but apparently it's not her time to get what's coming to her. But Brittany J, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I hope you appeal. Yeah, absolutely. Very concerning. I agree with you 100%. You can do underhanded things with no repercussions. And this sends a bad message. This sends a very bad message. You can lie to judges. You can cry in court on cue. You can even be Casey Anthony and get away with murder. Just get 12 stupid jurors on your jury. They can't count to 10 without getting tired. You know, this is sad. This is very, very sad. Very sad. So, we're going to move on to another topic. All right. So, this was in my news feed today, and I was like, damn. I haven't heard these two people's names in like forever. I thought they were in jail for life. You know, it was like they actually have a chance of getting out of jail. So, the controversial murder case of the Menendez brothers popped up in my feed today. Apparently, they had a hearing. And I didn't even know what this hearing was all about. I was like, listening to some news report saying they had a hearing. And the district attorney was fighting the hearing. And the governor had this governor of California, or Newsom, or Newscum, had this so-called report on their conduct in prison, like a behavioral thing or whatever. And I was like, okay. So if anyone doesn't know what this so-called resentencing hearing is about, or resentencing trial, I thought this is what I thought. All right, I thought the Menendez brothers' appeals have been exhausted. They're in jail for life without parole for the murder of their parents. All right, you know, they had their trial, they had their appeals. They filed their habeas corpus petitions with the Supreme Court of California, which were denied. They filed their habeas corpus petitions with the United States District Court, denied. Appealed to the Ninth Circuit, denied. So, supposedly, there's some new evidence, all right? Supposedly new evidence. I don't know how significant the so-called new evidence is, but the brothers requested a new hearing based on an allegation that their father had essayed former Menudo member Roy Rolesso, who at that time was signed under RCA Records. So he claims that when he was 14 years old, he was drugged and raped by the Menendez's parents, the father, while visiting the Menendez family home in New Jersey. So, there was so supposedly there was a letter or something written by this person, and it was found in a dresser. All right. So apparently these this letter, what do you call it? Corroborates their so-called story of abuse by their parents. So usually when you have new evidence, it has to be something that wasn't available back in this crime committed in 1989. So this may be considered new evidence, but the court would have to probably consider, would it have made a difference in the verdict? You get what I'm saying? So the resentencing hearing was delayed. So what does everyone think about this? You know, it was a controversial case back in the 90s. Was a murder charge the right way to go? Or should they have been convicted of manslaughter? Did the DA go to of course, Street Rat's not going to give all the money back to her donors. You know, it's like she's just going to keep the money. You know, it's just how it is. You know, she's just going to take the money and run. That's how Street Rat runs. You know, that's just how Street Rat operates. Unfortunately, you know. So we got the Menendez brothers legal case back in the news. They may get a resentencing hearing. They may go up for parole. They may get time served. I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen. It's just so. Damn it, you know. So we got these people talking about things they know nothing about or don't want to know. We got Street Rat winning a court case. Damn. And we got 2 murderers in California that might be getting out of jail soon. So the Menendez brothers will be getting a new hearing next month. So yeah, and then the cock thinks he's outsmarting everyone. Making more threats, which I'm not even taking seriously. So let me see here. All right, everyone. I'm gonna hit the road. I want to thank everyone for coming. So yeah. So cock, you don't scare me. All right. All right. I'll see everyone later.